Hey guys, today I'm going to be unboxing this frame arms kit. This is number 14 in the frame arms line. It is the 1/100 scale Type 48 model Kagutsuchi Kou. So I'm just going to call it the Type 48 for simplicity's sake. And this is another frame arms kit that was a pretty early one in the frame arms line, and I think probably one of the more popular ones, I'd imagine. It's one that I've really liked. This is probably one of my favorite frame arms kits that's come out. I really like this one, and there's the sniper variant of this one that I do also have that I would like to review for you guys eventually as well. Anyway, this also has modeling by Naoki, which is pretty cool. I actually hadn't noticed that before, but there we have just some of the credits here, the design works and modeling there on the front. But I mean, I guess you could see it does sort of have some of that, I guess. Anyway, this is, again, having one of those pre-built frames, so I'm guessing this is going to be very similar to the Go-Rai, which I reviewed not too long ago for you guys, where the frame is going to be a little bit rickety in some places and definitely going to require some glue, most notably around the hips there, so I'll have to make sure to have my glue with me putting this one together. But overall, pretty cool look, and just let's go around here onto the side. On the sides of the box, just really kind of the same thing. On the bottom, we have a whole bunch of different looks at the kit there, just front and back when it's all painted up, looking really nice with those stripes on there. That shield can be broken down into different parts, so you can have just like a smaller version of the shield if you want. That rifle can be handheld or mounted onto the backpack, as noted there, so that can be like there, mounted on a small connection, like articulated mechanical arm there onto the backpack, it looks like. And then just a little bit about the back skirt as well, which is also pretty interesting. The top is just kind of this big flat plate almost, but then it does have some really cool detail there underneath and everything. And then here is a look at how it's going to look exactly out of the box when it's not painted. So you can see it is definitely looking not quite as nice there. Going around to the top, it's nothing really too interesting here, except for we have the list price, which is 3,800 yen for this. So 3,800 yen, I believe that was the exact same list price as the Master Grade GM Sniper 2. So yeah, one thing I did learn recently, and I have to give a big shout out to my friend there, Lincoln Wright, over at his channel, Paint on Plastic. If you guys don't subscribe to his channel, definitely go check that out. But he pointed out in one of his videos a little while back that I was rewatching again recently, that one reason why Kotobukiya and Wave kits are more expensive than Bandai kits generally is because the plastic is actually baked. So I don't want to get really too into this. You guys should just go check out Lincoln's channel. But basically, after the parts are molded, after the runners are molded, then Kotobukiya and Wave, for example, then rebake the plastics, and that is basically a way to make it more resilient to glue. And it's just kind of harder, and it's not going to be as prone to cracking and things like that. So like, for example, we'll say like on a lot of Bandai kits, like Gundam model kits specifically, people will tell you like don't get any thinner on the kit like directly, because then that weakens it. But with these kits, you don't have to worry about that as much because the plastic is baked, and I guess that's a more expensive process, and that's why Bandai doesn't do it. It's not really necessary, but that is one of the reasons why the cost is driven up on Kotobukiya and Wave kits. So I thought that was an interesting thing that I learned from Lincoln's channel, from Lincoln's video. He's a very well-informed person. He has a whole lot of experience, so I definitely trust his word on that. So that was pretty interesting. Thought I'd just share that with you guys. So it's kind of interesting here in the box. We just have like this top tray here where there's just a few runners. That's just like to show it off. Show off some of the runners through that front little window on the box. On the other side is just our pre-built frame here. Again, so we'll just stick that off to the side. Then inside here we have another separator. So this is another area where the cost of this is getting driven up, is all the extra cardboard that they're putting in the box unnecessarily. Okay, the inner box is also very hard to get out, but once that's out, then we can get to just bags of runners here. Everything you'd expect, normal kits. Once we get that out of there, we can get to the instruction manual. Now here, once again, we aren't going to have any water slide decals, unfortunately. Don't really know what they would put on this, because it doesn't really have anything, except for maybe like these couple white stripes there, like on the knees and thighs, and like the white and red stripes on the head and on the gun maybe. I know that white part on the end of the head, that is actually a white part, but could have maybe come with waterslide decals for those stripes, but that's a really pretty easy masking job on that, so not really too concerned about that. Still, waterslide decals would be nice. On the back we do have the painting guide. It's all going to be in Japanese though, so you'll just kind of have to figure that out. Not really the most difficult colors to figure out: orange, white, tan, generally speaking. I mean, it's obviously a little bit more complicated than that, but you guys get the idea. Here on the inside we do have some specs. Again, it's all in Japanese, but you can sort of glean some of the basic details. This would be a 21-meter robot in real life. I was going to say mobile suit, but it's a multi-assemble mechanics unit. Whole bunch of information there in Japanese, and then here it's just again pointing out some of the equipment. So I guess on like the arm, the back of the arm actually folds out to be a connection to that rifle to help support that rifle, so that'll be interesting. It does have this big head, which is something, but I can't read that Japanese. Here on the back, I'm guessing that's basically just talking about the thrusters and the wheels here on the back of the leg, just for mobility. And then here, just the armaments as the rifle and the shield. The rest of this is just going to be a pretty basic construction manual. So we have our parts list here, and then it's just kind of going through the parts of the frame that we'll use and not use straight off the bat, and then it's just kind of going all through all of the construction. So we don't really need to go through every part of that. Generally, from my experience with the GoRai, these kits are really not the most complicated things to build. The part count is not that high. The part count on this is going to be a little bit higher than the GoRai, looks like, but really not all that complicated. So I think overall they're going to be pretty nice. There you can see at the end just putting it all together and then just talking about how to kind of use a few of the gimmicks and things like that. So let's get into the runners. Alright, so as I said, there's no stickers or waterslide decals or any sort of decals or anything included with this kit, so we'll skip that and go to our polycaps. We do have two small little runners of polycaps here. This is PC1, just 5 polycaps each on here. They're just kind of a very standard polycap type. Then we also have 2 of these little mesh hoses. I'm not sure if I'll actually put these on. Actually, that's not a hose, that's actually a rubber. So interesting. Not sure, I guess I'll put these on. I was thinking that they're hoses and I wasn't going to put them on the actual just review, just save those for once the kit's actually painted, but if I can, I'll put those on if that's not going to damage anything too bad. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. Those are actually rubber and not cloth. Alright, so runner A here is in that kind of light tan color that most of the armor is in. So there's a whole bunch of parts here. Some nice detail, not really super detailed. Where there is detail though, it is like really nice and sharp, but it's not like packed with detail everywhere. Just want to point out the runner markings for this kit is 48 type Kagutsuchi. So this is kind of interesting that they have the number written out in kanji, not just an actual like Roman numeral, or not just the actual like numbers 48, but it's there in kanji is interesting. Then we got runner B here, same color, and this is just kind of some of the more larger armor parts. So just some of the parts for the armor, obviously big back skirt pieces there, big parts there for the torso, and it's looking considerably larger than the GoRai, I'll note. And then we're going to see just kind of the same thing. There's a whole bunch more parts here. And so we do have 2 of this C runner, so probably going to be parts mostly for the arms and legs and places where we're going to have doubles of that. Then runner D is in just kind of a standard gray color. So this is some of the more mechanical parts for the weapons on the mobile, I keep wanting to say mobile suit, but on the, let's just say on the robot itself anyway. Runner E, just some more mechanical parts here in that same gray color. And we do have 2 of this E runner. Runner F is just a few orange pieces here just for the orange toes, and then runner G, just a couple of white parts here for the head, and where's that other one? I think this other white part actually goes on the gun, I believe. And finally runner V, which is our frame arms hand runner. So this is the exact same runner that I think is probably in most of the frame arms kits, just the parts for making your few different types of hands. So that is it for the unboxing, guys. I'm going to get to work on snapping this kit up right away, so you guys will be able to check out the review coming up very soon. Well, coming up next anyway, but you'll be able to see that very soon. Thanks as always for watching. Leave your questions, comments, all that down below, and I'll see you in the review. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. See you next time.